Welcome everyone. My name is Harry Massey. I'm the chairman and founder of a company called Ness Health and Energy for Life. And I'm joined here by Steve McCardle, who is our Director of Education, and he was also previously a bioenergetic practitioner. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Harry.
All right, so today we're basically going to talk about a concept called emotional immunity, and we have this emotional immunity protocol. I think I should probably just give it a little bit of context. Now, what on earth is going on in the world? Well, we could say it's a lung infection, but we could also say the pandemic that is going on is one of mass mental infection. And if we look at the statistics, a few thousand deaths that are occurring right now, they pale to the hundreds of thousands of deaths each year by seasonal flu. And so arguably it's literally, a moral and emotional panic that has really affected the psychology of the globe, or if not all of us. And regardless of the relative strength of, of the mental versus a sort of a lung infection, is that one's immunity is directly correlated to one's emotional state. Now, there's a lot of studies on this, but one study that I'm going to quote is that the bottom third of positive emotions, i.e. the negative emotions, are 3 times more likely, or people who express more of the negative emotions are 3 times more likely to catch a cold and flu. And they also make 50% less antibodies. So if that message alone isn't enough to make you take emotional immunity seriously, I don't know what else is. But if you look at this from a broader perspective, the implication is the sort of pandemic and mass panic that is going on right now gives rise to increased anxiety. Obviously, it gives rise to negative emotions, which, according to this research, do actually in turn lower people's immunity and therefore make them more likely to catch a virus and express symptoms. Now, it's very similar to being the opposite of the placebo effect, which is called the nocebo effect, where if we believe we're told that we have a serious condition, we're far more likely to express these symptoms. So what on earth do we do about it? Well, I'm going to hand over here to Steve. And while there's generally no cure for sort of for viruses, you can actually support people's emotional immunity. And due to this research, if people are in a more positive state, they're more likely to have more antibodies, and therefore they're less likely to catch anything and less likely to express symptoms. So over to you. What's the bioenergetic approach, or what's our emotional immunity protocol, Steve?
Right. Well, the topic is one of our favorites, and so we love making this video. It's a great topic for us. But just stepping back and talking bioenergy in general, the average person, when you're thinking about going to see your doctor or your nutritionist, something like that, we're working generally with the chemistry of the body. And when we're talking about bioenergetics, we're saying, well, underneath the chemistry of the body is the movement of energy, right? We know that we are actually energy beings. And so the communication system of the body, the flow of that energy through the body, that is important. That determines our chemistry. It determines our health and wellness. And so in bioenergetics, what we're actually saying is we want to assess this underlying control system and help to support that. When that is well supported, then the body can function more as it's meant to, and direct all the other activity of the body. That does not negate the need for medical care when there's under appropriate needs. It doesn't negate the need for good nutrition as the building blocks, what needs to be directed, but this underlying control system is central to well-being, and we really believe it's the future of health and wellness. And so that is what we do, is we work on assessing and correcting that control system, and we do so with infoceuticals. And that is what we're sharing in this pack, in this emotional immunity pack.
Perfect.
So, Harry, say a little something about infoceuticals themselves.
Yeah, I might also just touch on this control system or this overall idea of bioenergetics, just in case the